in a meeting today,
Uh-oh.
and Betty Case was in there. She had this gosh, terrible ringtone. And she couldn't figure out how to stop it.
Ain't nothing worse. We had one in church Sunday night, kept ringing the whole service.
Bart, you gonna be on Friday night? We gonna play Friday.
Washington Wilkes.
Yeah, I know some people.
Music for the night. This one went out, it was in somebody's stuff, and they couldn't even hear it themselves. Nobody ever was looking at anything. We think we knew where it was at, but it was evidently in their purse or something. They never did even hear it.
There you go.
I think the coin toss is Sly County win, we'll have to go to Sly County.
Y'all got
Assuming we win next week.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call this November work session for Carroll County Board of Education to order. First off, we'd like to welcome all of our guests. We've got some great guests out in the audience tonight, and we're excited to have you. If everybody would just rise with me and let's join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. We're going to start tonight off with Dr. Jessica Ainsworth with Student Achievement. I'll turn it over to Dr. Ainsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller and members of the board, in Carroll County Schools, we continue to prioritize literacy. Literacy efforts is one of our 3 focus priorities this school year as a school system. So I thought instead of you hearing from me or someone from our teaching and learning department, see it from our students' eyes and how literacy efforts have impacted our students across Carroll County Schools. This evening, Ms. Cecilia Brown, our principal at Glanton-Heinzman Elementary, and Abigail, a 3rd grader at Glanton-Heinzman, would like to share a little bit more about our literacy efforts. Ms. Brown?
Thank you so much for allowing us to speak tonight. I am going to pass it over to the real star of the show. Abigail, will you come forward?
Good afternoon. My name is Abigail Seymour, and I'm a 3rd grader at Glanton-Heinzman Elementary School. I'm here today because I want to talk about the importance of literacy in all of our Carroll County schools. In elementary school, we have worked with many programs like Haggerty, Saxophonics, Hello Literacy, and many other reading activities during the day. They are all important to me becoming a good reader. This is the most important skill we will learn. Reading helps in every other class and will help us understand the world around us. Haggerty is a quick, fun warm-up we did with our teacher. It's like an ear training for reading. We didn't use books, just our hands and our voices. It taught me to hear the individual sounds in words like hearing k, at, and the word cat. One of my favorite parts of Haggerty was the roller coaster. It was one way we learned to separate sounds in the word like cat. This is called phonemic awareness. K, at. When I could hear the sounds better, it makes it much easier to sound out new words when I'm reading my chapter books. It's fast, so I didn't get bored, and it got my brain ready for the rest of our reading lesson. Saxophonics is a program that taught us the rules for how letters and sounds work together. It's systematic, which means we learn one rule, practice it a lot, and then move on to the next. It taught us how to decode words, which means we sound them out using the rules we learned. This helped me read words in my story that I've never seen before. It also helped with spelling and writing. We learned a coding system like putting a line over a long vowel, which helped us read, but also helped us remember how to spell correctly when we would write, because the lessons are in small steps. We reviewed old lessons a lot. I felt really sure of myself. I'm not guessing I'm using a rule. This makes me a much more confident reader. Saxophonics gave me the tools to read any word, which is the key to becoming a fluent reader. My favorite part of Saxon was reading the sight words as our teacher flashed a card. We always tried to say the words faster than her hand could move. And this is how we knew we won. Hello Literacy strategies our teacher used helped me go beyond just reading the words on the page. We all had small books, we reading groups, with our teacher. Those small books helped me understand, think, and talk about what I read. We learned how to use reading strategies like visualizing what's happening in the story or connecting the book to my own life. This makes the book more interesting and easier to remember. When my mind isn't stuck trying to sound out words, thanks to Saxon, I could use my brain power to understand the story, which is the whole point of reading. Haggerty, Saxon Phonics, and Hello Literacy are great tools, but the real goal was always to have me reading by myself. The whole system, hearing sounds, learning rules, and using strategies, turned me into a successful reader. Today I have one of my latest favorite book reads to show you. Alice in Wonderland. Thank you for listening. The reading programs we used worked because they built all different parts of my reading skills. They gave me the tools, the rules, and the strategies I need to succeed. I am thankful for all the ways my amazing teachers and my parents taught me to read. It is important for me and all of the students in our county to be strong, successful, and confident readers. Reading is not just something we do in school. It's the key that opens the door to everything. When you support programs and our teachers, you're not just supporting a lesson, you're supporting my future. You're giving me the power to learn, to dream, and one day use all these skills to become a veterinarian. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Abigail is going to stand with me while I read in case you have questions for her. Good evening, members of the board, district leaders, and other guests. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the elementary school principals about an issue that is foundational to every child's success: literacy in our elementary schools. Literacy is more than reading words on a page. It's the key that unlocks every future academic opportunity. When our students can read fluently, confidently, and with comprehension, they can learn anything. And when they cannot, the entire school experience becomes a struggle for them. I want to highlight why early targeted literacy support matters, and I want to do that by sharing a real example, one that reflects experiences across our district. Reading is not just an academic skill, it's the foundation of dignity. It is the difference between a child who walks into school feeling capable and one who walks in already defeated. It's the difference between opportunity and limitation. Last year, we welcomed a fourth grade student into our school after moving from a metro district. When he arrived, it became clear that he did not know his letters or sounds, and to be quite honest with you, he had a hard time identifying his own name. He could not identify the 26 letters of the alphabet, and he lacked the foundational phonemic skills typically mastered by the end of kindergarten. As you can imagine, this academic gap created frustration, and that frustration showed up in the form of significant behavior challenges. He avoided work, he acted out in class, and he struggled every day to regulate his emotions. One day, he finally broke down in anger, then embarrassment tears, and then he verbalized what we all in the room already knew. He couldn't read at all. But what happened next? Well, that's the part that matters the most. Our teachers, interventionists, and support staff came together with a plan. But the beauty of this plan is that it can be found in any elementary school in Carroll County. It is called differentiated phonics. Abigail spoke to you about some strategies we use in K through 2 for literacy. Differentiated phonics takes place for our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. It occurs from 7:40 to 8:20 every morning at our school. Our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders are placed in groups with peers of like ability, and they receive reading instruction to move them forward no matter where their starting point is. Our student began receiving structured phonics instruction every day, systematic, explicit teaching of letters, sounds, blending, and decoding. The staff provided targeted small group interventions using research-based materials. They added behavior supports, relationship building strategies, many through Capturing Kids' Hearts that is also supported by our county, and predictable routines. And every adult who worked with him shared the same belief: he can learn and he will grow. He began matching letters to sounds. He blended his first CVC, constant vowel constant word. He read his first decodable sentence out loud, and when he did, he smiled. A really proud I did it smile, the kind that can change a child. The day he did that, he also proudly announced to every adult who would listen to him that he was a reader, and indeed, that day he became one. His progress, though, isn't accidental. It's the result of intentional instruction, identification as early as possible, and an unwavering commitment of our educators who know that literacy is a right, not a privilege. It takes action. But his story is not isolated. It's happening in every corner of our county, in Villa Rica, in Temple, in Bowden, in Mount Zion, and in Central. Across every school, every hallway, every classroom, children are arriving with literacy gaps that require early, urgent intervention with intentional action. We can't afford to wait until 3rd or 4th grade to discover a student cannot read. And when a child arrives with significant gaps, such as our student, whether they are in kindergarten or upper grades, it is our responsibility to respond with urgency and expertise while they are in our care. In our district, we are proving that when we give students the right tools, they rise. When we invest in literacy, we invest in every future teacher, nurse, electrician, artist, and leader sitting in our classrooms today, including Abigail, our future veterinarian. Literacy is not just a goal, it's a promise, and it's one that we must keep. When we teach a child to read, we don't just change their school year. We launch them into a future that positively transforms their entire life. Thank you for your continued support. Let us press forward, united in fulfilling the powerful purpose of positively changing all the lives in Carroll County schools.
Thank you, Cecilia and Abigail. Board members, have any comments or questions?
The only thing I would like to say is keep it up, Abigail. You have made us proud.
100%. I got to tell you, that was impressive. And I see you. I think that's some proud parents over there. You have every right to be very proud because I know we all are. That was great. And I got to say this, I believe coming off of COVID, it's just been a few years ago, I think that was the biggest gap. And every time we've had something like this before the board, we see where we're closing the gap because of intentionality and the uniformity across. I love the way you talked about that, Cecilia. The way we're doing it collaborative across the whole system is very important. And Abigail, you are a great ambassador for everybody, so well done.
Yeah, after I heard her read, I thought, what better poster child for literacy than what we heard tonight?
Absolutely.
Wonderful job.
Thank you all again. We'll take that as our cue that Abigail did a great job and all of your questions have been answered. Thank you.
Thank you both.
One more agenda item. This is on the consent agenda. As part of the Georgia Early Literacy Act and Dyslexia Act, we are required, our literacy core team, to present to you guys the Georgia Department of Education's rubric of how we have bundled our literacy efforts using supplemental resources. You'll see that in eBoard. And we request, just like you did last year, the continuation of our literacy efforts in Carroll County schools.
So we want to place that on the consent agenda. Is everybody good with that for Thursday, right?
Yes. I do have a did they send you any extra money to get this done? Ms. Kyle, maybe you can answer that one.
I'll be glad to ask. I'm afraid I know what the
Okay,
answer is.
all
but-
right, we need
But we need to keep asking.
That's right.
And to your point, Dr. Brooks, again, Ms. Brown mentioned this, but thank our Board of Education. Your efforts to support literacy has made a tremendous difference, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, so if there's nobody, everybody's good, we'll put that on the consent agenda. Anything else, Dr. Ainsworth?
No, sir.
Okay, great report, great deal for tonight. Now I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Scott Cowart for stakeholder engagement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Want to start with an update from our CCA Board of Directors meeting. I was unable to attend because I was introducing our tech fair that morning. Dr. Ainsworth was unable to attend, and Ms. Knight was unable to attend. So Cindy Clanton gave me an update. It sounds like they had a really good meeting. It was at the North CCA, and we were able to take that group and show them the new computer science lab at Villabrook High School. And that went over really, really well. So we're very, very excited about what they saw, and they were very excited about what they saw. And it's just another step as we continue to try to create new and innovative opportunities through our classrooms for students when it comes to technology. And after Christmas, we'll be renovating a space down at the South CCA to replicate that concept down there for the students on the south end of the county. Another thing they talked about was their recent Business and Community Day. Both the North and South CCA this year adopted a little bit different way of doing that. Instead of like one day, just everybody comes, shows up, walks around, they're doing it targeted, where they're having a couple of their programs will have a day where you come in and see those two programs, and then maybe a week or two later, you come in and see another two programs. And so I will continue to have Ms. Gann put that on the calendars. I send you information, so if you can go by and see some of those. Both entities do really, really well with that. And then we always ask for the partners in the CCA board to share, and Mr. Gary Thomas had an interesting update from the hospital standpoint relative to their use of artificial intelligence at Tanner, and kind of interfacing it in with what they saw in the computer lab there that we have, and with some of the work we're doing with our students. So very interesting information there, very timely information. It sounded like they had a really good morning there. I'll continue on, Mr. Chair, if it's okay, and talk about the clergy and realtor breakfast too.
Yes, sir.
Several of you were able to come to those events. Amazing mornings. Hats off to Ms. Charity Arian and her team for doing a great job of getting it organized, putting it on. One of the things we did different this year, in the past, we've done one in the fall and one in January. We decided that we wanted to get both of them in the fall to get kind of more relevant information to them earlier, so to speak. And we tried to do it back to back, like on a Thursday, Friday, which actually really worked well. The PAC staff like that. Our other overall group seemed to like that, but we had good visits with them. We'll share a little bit more information about some of the pieces that came out of that at our board advance in December. So two, you couple that with our community conversations back in September, and we've got some other things we're planning that we also will share with you at our advance about some more kind of community input type activities after we get past the first of the year. So I'll be glad to answer any questions about either one of those topics, Mr. Chair.
Any questions for the board?
I don't have a question about that, but I did see Dr. Dortch the other night, and he's wanting to get started with giving out the money again. So I'm putting that in your hand so that we can get some of the money that's flowing back to Atlanta under that program.
Okay. Yeah, and he's been in contact with me, so
Okay.
we'll continue to work with him.
All right.
Very good. Anything else? We do want to thank everybody for working on those two breakfasts. I know that's a really good thing. And then also, I think the fact that we have two CCAs and they're thriving and the 12 for life and everything is critical. So I know that we all appreciate having that and the great individuals that make it happen. So good report there. Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
All right, we'll move on to Mr. Glenn Harding for organizational excellence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A little unusual here on the facility and construction. I can talk about these in the same vein because they're pretty much on the same traction right now. So Mountain Zion Middle School and Temple Middle School are our current projects where we're on site. Both projects, the company RKR and Mr. Beers has worked with the school to go over all the logistics, the plans, and just how to move around the school while this construction is going on. All the security fencing has been added, silk fence has been added. In both places, a lot of trees have been moved and kind of prepping the ground for what's to come. And at Mountain Zion demo and a lot of the concrete that's existing on the site there. And then also at Mountain Zion, the two areas in which we're adding a little bit of parking has been cleared out. So both of them are on track and really just getting started. And talking to Dr. Beers at Temple and also Mr. Rooks at Mountain Zion, just thrilled to death and really working with them closely on getting this kicked off. So again, any questions that you may have for Mountain Zion Middle School and Temple Middle School as far as the current status, Mr. Chair?
Any questions from the board? Looks like a lot of progress early.
Starting quick.
It's good stuff. Anything else?
Yes, moving to the field trips, you can see attached to eBoard, we have the fundraisers for November, and then also the overnight and field trips are posted. We ask that that be reviewed and put on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Anybody got any issue with adding those two items to the consent agenda?
No.
Very good, we'll add them.
And one final thing, Mr. Chair, last month, we brought forth potential new board policy, JCDAF, use of electronic devices by our students in K through 8. That has been set on the table for this month. We didn't have any public input on this, and we asked that that be reviewed and put on the consent agenda for Thursday night as well.
Have any questions about that? Any issue? If not, we'll consider it to be put on the consent agenda as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all for me tonight.
Thank you, sir. All right, with that, we'll move on to Mrs. Delene Wolf with our financials for the month.
The financial report includes the totals for each of the funds, the year-to-date revenues and expenditures, and outstanding encumbrances or purchase orders. Looking at the general fund details, revenues were $12.1 million for September. Expenditures were $16.4 million. Fund balance is $25.8 million with $5.1 million in outstanding encumbrances. This aligns to the prior year activity for this time of the year. For lost receipts, the total was $1.9 million, which is a 3.3% increase. Expenditures in September totaled $557,800 with a balance of $7 million for the scheduled projects. And lastly, we have the school activity report for the first quarter of the fiscal year. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Chair, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
How do we receive the SPLOST fund? By monthly, or quarterly?
We receive them monthly at the end of the month, and they're 1 month in arrears.
I apologize. I just Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. And then I had one question on the report. The FTE, that's not the actual enrollment. Is that on the report, is that the number of students or what is that? I get confused on that sometimes.
So that is based on
Attendance.
the most recent FTE count, so it's measured as of a point in time.
I would point out that's K-12, that's not pre-K-12.
Yes, K through
Okay.
12.
Yeah, good deal.
One last one. Will we receive a midterm adjustment?
For this fiscal year, we will hopefully know by the spring if we'll receive midterm adjustment. The budget that was approved by the board included an estimate of a small adjustment of 400,000. But as soon as we hear from the state, we'll share that information.
Okay.
Very good. Anything else for Ms. Wolf? As always, thank you so much. Good report. And if there's nothing else, we'll move to number 7, continuous improvement with Mr. Jared Griffiths.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Good evening, Board. I want to thank you for being at the Teacher of the Year ceremony and for helping making it special for our Teachers of the Year. They always enjoy meeting our board members and spending time with them. I think you would agree that it was a great event, and our teachers were honored in an appropriate way. There are no personnel actions tonight. We'll take care of those on Thursday night. This time of year is slow, so we try to bunch them all together so that we only have to do it one time. And so you'll see those on the agenda for Thursday night. Attached to your agenda tonight, you'll find the proposed board meeting calendar for the 2026-27 school year. It is for your review and will be brought back up for consideration in December. That concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Any questions for Mr. Griffiths? All right, very good. Thank you. And again, it was a great night. And I know that was, I know a lot of people work hard to put that together. And it's always really special. You can tell for all the schools and our champion teachers, so to speak. That's much appreciated. At this time, we're going to go to our public input. If there's anybody here to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move on from that, and we'll go to any business items we have tonight.
Mr. Chair, we have no business items tonight.
We have no business items, so then we'll go to for review of the agenda for the November 20th, 25 board meeting.
We have no recommendations for change.
Okay. All right. With that, at this point, then we'll look to have a recommendation that the board meet in executive session to discuss the future acquisition of real estate, safety, and security, personnel, pending or threatened litigation, and recommendations that are exempt from disclosure under the Open Records Act.
I will make that motion.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. I'll consider this an executive session. Do we want to stay here?
Yes, sir, I think we can.
Okay.
Matt?
We didn't record it. like to, ask if we have a motion to adjourn the executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. There is no action coming out of executive session, so I will go right down to board member comments.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to report that 2 Carroll County employees, Assistant Principal Megan Day at Villarica High School and Assistant Principal at Mount Zion High School, was recognized at the NAACP banquet on Saturday night.
Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you so much, Dr. Brooks. That's wonderful. Any other comments? I think it's worth noting, we're at that time of the year where there's all kind of things going on for extracurriculars, and I noticed that we had a lot of our cheerleaders, a lot of our different groups, flag football, different ones, I mean, all kind of groups going out to compete at the region and state level. Friday night, I think may be the first time that all 5 of our high schools made the playoffs in their respective regions, and actually 4 of the 5 are going on to the second round. And you know, it's not just about the football. I love the experience of everything and all the athletes and all the bands and the community that get involved. And I think our groups, and I know that, you know, thankful for Glenn Harding and all that team for everything that's done to make that premiere here. And it's one of those cores, and I just thought that was pretty cool Friday night that happened. So good luck to the rest of them this next week. Anything else? If there's nothing, I'll ask for a motion that we adjourn.
So be.
A motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand. We'll consider ourselves adjourned, and we'll see you Thursday.